am back with a new video for you guys today. So today I wanted to sort of talk about how I moved to Spain. I didn't know where I was going to go with that. I was like, wait, what am I talking about again? But before I tell you guys about how I moved to Spain, I did want to say, look, nautical nonsense, which if you don't know what that is, Nautical Nonsense is my podcast that I launched in December, and we now have merch available. So if you haven't listened to the podcast, first things first, go listen to the podcast. Link is down there. I've got it on Apple and on Spotify. If you have listened to the podcast and you're a big fan, go buy some merch. We've got this one that says Nautical Nonsenser, and then someone who likes to say, that's interesting, because that's my little intro to the podcast. And then we also have the classic logo available, all in long, short sleeve tees, a couple of different colors available. They're all unisex, so girls, I suggest you go a size down. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. There's also Boho Traveller merch available. I will link that down below too. So I'm super excited to kind of announce all of this. I just think it's wonderful. So anyways, here we go. I'm going to tell you guys about how I moved to Spain. Okay, so if you guys watched my video maybe a week or two ago, I talked to you about how I moved to Italy and how it was just sort of an accident. Spain is much the same. I did not intend to move to Spain. It just sort of like fell upon me. I literally this is gonna be a short video because it's like really not that exciting of a story, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyways. So back in 2020, it was mid-pandemic, and I had just been offered a boat on a yacht in Croatia, and I decided to take it. I didn't know how necessarily it was going to be allowed to get in, how all that was going to work, because I didn't really know anything about the yachting industry at this point. I didn't really understand discharge books or courses or anything like that. Like, I had no idea. Like, I went and got my STCW, and I went and did my yacht rating, but like that was it. So from taking the job in Croatia, we did a full season there, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. And then we left and had to come back to Spain because the boat had work that had been done in Spain, and we needed to winter here so that the work could be finished. So I ended up here, and I wasn't planning on staying. Like, I kept supposing to go home. Like, I was supposed to like book a flight, and then I ended up staying on, and then I was supposed to book a flight, and then I ended up just staying on longer and longer on this boat. And then during this time, I met my now boyfriend, and so we met because the engineers on my last boat were the engineers on one of his last boats, right? So so they knew each other, so we became friends that way, okay? And so he was a captain on another yacht here, and our boat was now due to leave and go to Italy, I think. The boat that I was on was supposed to go to Italy? Yeah, well, it was going to Italy. I don't know if it was going to stay there, but it was going to Genoa. And I don't know if you've ever been to Genoa, but Genoa is not great. I love Italy, but I do not love Genoa. I've been once when I had to move the boat over there after I'd put in my notice. My last 3 days on the job were moving the boat to Genoa, and I went, and it was not great. And it was also the middle of the pandemic, but I ended up using that trip to sort of drive across the borders of the different regions and go visit my friends in Florence. Anyways, I was determined to not move to Genoa, so I had already put in my notice, and had taken a job with my boyfriend on that boat, going from deckhand to sole stewardess, which is a crazy transition. Don't recommend it, but I actually quite like stewardessing. I like both of the jobs. I'm a people person. I like the service industry. It's why I work as a travel agent. I like serving people. It is something that I am good at and what I do, so I don't mind stewardessing. I've spent my whole life, serving, being a bartender, being a waitress, working on my parents' boat, serving drinks. I'm very good at being the service provider. So anyway, so that was the change there. And so this boat is based in Palma year round, except for when we go away for our 2-month charter season. And that is literally how I ended up moving to Spain. Because the boat was based here, we decided that we didn't really want to live on the boat. So we got our apartment. Yes, we decided to rent. I will do a video next week on how to find an apartment to rent in Spain. But I just wanted to keep this one short and sweet to kind of introduce you to how like it is really possible to just sort of like do things on the fly. Like, I think everybody thinks that like, oh, you're moving abroad, you need to have all this big plan. You need to know exactly what you're doing. You have to have this and this and that and this. And in reality, neither of the times that I've moved abroad has it been planned at all. Now, that's not to say that you can't plan things out. There's this blogger that I follow and I would consider myself friends with, like in the online hemisphere. Helene in between, I will link her down below, and she moved to Germany and she had everything planned out. Like they saved $40,000, did all the visa stuff, like were really, really prepared for their move to Germany, and they're now about to move to the UK and they're doing the same thing. My life is not that organized. Like I'm very organized when it comes to planning stuff for my clients, but not for myself. I'm like, yo, I'm going to Spain. I should be back. Or no, this was me. I was like, yo, I'm going to Croatia. I'll be back in 6 weeks. And my mom's like, no, you're not. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. And then 2 years later, almost literally, I'm still living in Europe. So my throat just made the weirdest noise there. Oh, that was so weird. Anyways, so yeah, it doesn't have to be this whole thing. And when I moved to Italy the last time, like I had gone for 3 months and was about to overstay. Like I was about like right on the cusp of outstaying my visa. And what I did was I just flew back home for 2 weeks, got the visa, and then flew back. So I just went on like a vacation home and got my visa during that time. Would recommend definitely giving yourself longer than 2 weeks because boy was I stressed trying to get my visa in time. But because I had flights booked already to go back, they like expedited it for me. So there is ways to like not be super thought out and organized. I do like recommend maybe if you want to like actually make the move, and you're like, I am dead set on moving to Portugal, like do the research, figure it out. But also like, if you go to Portugal and you're like, oh my God, I've got to move here, like just figure it out. You can do it. I believe in you. Okay, so that is my wrap-up talk about how I moved to Spain. Again, I know that was like super short and sweet, and like not really that exciting of a story because of just like what you just happened to move to Spain. But yeah, I did. I just kind of accidentally ended up here, which is odd, but sometimes how it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, listen to the podcast. It's really good. It's about nautical nonsense. Obviously, that's the name of it. But it's about, you know, different sailing stories and history. And as you know, I am a lover of the ocean. I am a lover of the sea. I plan a lot of, like, I've been planning a lot of, like, mini yacht, not like super yacht, but like, you know, regular yacht vacations for clients recently to Greece and Croatia and stuff. So that's been really cool. I'm like really excited to like share my love of sailing in the ocean with my clients. And I always like also totally nerdy, but I also try and always book like my clients on some sort of boat tour when they're traveling. Usually a sailing boat if I can, just because I think it's such a good experience, such a cool way to like see the coastline, you know, go out on a boat and see, like, look back at land and see what you're actually on, because sometimes like the view from the ocean is just so spectacular. So that's why my face has this weird light on it. I didn't realize that like my computer was giving me this weird glow over here this whole time, and now that it's off I'm like, oh, I look so much better. But anyways, thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.